So I'm sitting here at my delivery. It's also my pickup. I'm at Hostess. And I've been sitting here since 1300 or 1 o'clock. My appointment was at 1400 or 2 o'clock. Now, the reason why I'm still sitting here is because there's no one to really get the docks cleaned and everything. So I had to wait for them to for them to get the docks cleared so that they can unload my truck. Then I had to go around on the other side and then get loaded. So I'm tired, and I'm tired of everything, really. Um so I know how everybody is with all this going back and forth with corona stuff. Look, I said it before. I will never go against what the ordinance of the government says unless I really feel threatened. That's just a part of my personality. So at this moment, I'm still working. I don't, thank God I have a little bit of savings. I'm able to help people if they want help. And, I'm working. So I really don't have any reason to be upset or highly offended at the things going on with the quarantine and stuff, because it really doesn't affect me. Well, actually it will, because I heard that Walmart through my ex truck wife. Some of y'all don't know or haven't known. I used to drive with Prime, and I had a couple of trainers, and the last trainer I had, I just call her my truck wife. We used to have a joke about that, but she had posted something on her Facebook through Prime, and Prime has wrote on there that truck drivers and even customers have to now wear a face mask when they go into Walmart. Okay, I'm not too keen about that. So I think I need to explain to people about my life. I was, and whether you know it or not, am still a huge germophobic. Okay? I've been germophobic ever since I can remember. Afraid of germs. And afraid of hospitals. Afraid of doctors. It's just fear. I've had that since I can remember. Now, when I became a Christian, a born-again Christian, when I started believing in the things that I read and things started to manifest in real life, like praying in the name of Jesus, or then when I became involved in Judaism, praying in the name of Yeshua, and things started manifesting into my life through praying in that name, then the extreme fear that I have dealt with all my life has become less and less. So for those who don't know me, I used to walk around with face mask on. I used to walk around with a small backpack. I had rubbing alcohol in my backpack. I had bleach wipes in my backpack, and I had a bottle of water in my backpack so that I could make sure that my hands were thoroughly clean. Okay? Now, how I got over the face mask thing, one time we had all went to Disneyland, because my mom used to take us to Disneyland on the bus when we were all children. And I was wearing a facial mask on the bus, and these black teenage kids were making fun of me singing that song by Tony Braxton, saying, if I ever breathe again, and I was so embarrassed. So you know what? I stopped wearing the facial mask. Um, but then I replaced that by wearing turtlenecks. And people who know me from like maybe 5-10 years ago, they know that I used to wear turtlenecks, and I would cover my face and nose. And I guess somehow that was kind of inadvertently or absentmindedly, covering my face because I knew somebody was sick in the room. But y'all have no idea the kind of, if I okay, I'll tell you the kind of mental illness that I was dealing with because of my germophobia was to the point to where I wanted to commit violence against someone who was sick around me. So if, for instance, if I was sitting like at a bus stop bench and someone came and they walked by me and they started coughing and then they cover up their mouth, the first thing that entered into my mind was profanity. And the second thing that happened was out of my mouth, I would say it out loud. Cover your damn mouth when you cough. Cover your damn mouth when you sneeze. These are things I live that way, And don't let somebody have a stomach issue where they're vomiting all over the place. Then I want to hit somebody. Look, you have nothing on me. You people are scared over something because the government is telling you all that you should quarantine and wash your hands and separate yourselves. And half of you people, when I would write posts about washing your hands, half of you people would be upset with me. Like I was being mean. Like, oh, well, I can't wash my hands because and I'm not judging people. I know people have skin sensitivities, because I have skin sensitivities to certain things. So I understand that detergents and soaps can cause people to have rashes. I'm not making a judgment call on that. But then there were other people that I know that didn't have those issues. And, they would make fun of me for saying, hey, like when I drive through a place and I'd go into a Love's, because usually it's Love's. I'd go into a Love's in the women's restroom because I am a female and I go to the women's restroom. And all these nasty ass women would go into the restroom, pop a squat, and then walk right out and then go back into the store without washing their hands. And then I would make a post about it and people would laugh. And they would think it was funny. And I'm like, these people are going straight from the toilet where they set their ass on the toilet. They're going into the restaurant part of the truck stop that they work in, and they're going to handle food. And we know the last time I ate at Wendy's, because I don't eat Wendy's anymore. The last time I ate at Wendy's, I got some kind of a stomach issue. Probably because somebody didn't wash their damn hands. I don't understand why everybody, you gotta be fearful of death for you to wash your fucking hands. Forgive me, Jesus, for using profanity, but you gotta be afraid that you're gonna die, or you don't want to get sick, so now you're gonna wash your hands. You should have been doing that from the beginning. People, I don't want to be locked up and to wear a facial mask and to be sprayed down with whatever the hell they were spraying down those people in Africa on that video I saw. I don't want that stuff going on in my life. I overcame that. And I won't go back to that dark place. And as far as vaccines are concerned, if you get vaccines, more power to you. There is nothing wrong with you getting a vaccine. But don't you dare tell me what I need to put in my body because of your fear. That's what I'm saying. Oh, well, you're mean and you're speaking angry. No, I don't have time to be buttering up people. I'm not that type of person. I can't be that type of person. I mean, there's some times when, depending on who I'm communicating with, that my tone is a little bit gentler. that my tone is a little bit sweeter, that my attitude is a little bit less guarded. But, this is something I'm dealing with because this is a spiritual thing for me. You have no idea what it is to be a germophobic that overcame my germophobia, and now I have a whole world, because it's every nation. Everywhere in the world, people are trying to force fear and panic on people. You're forcing fear on people. You're forcing people to lock up and not go outside, not go to the beaches. Now, granted, I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't go to the beach right now. It's too many people. But my issue with not going to the beach is not because of the people. I mean, because of the pandemic. My issue is because I don't like being around a lot of people, because I know they're nasty. People are nasty. People are the biggest disease that there is in the world. This virus thing, yes, it's killing people. I know of people that it's killed, from people that I know. And that is a hard thing. It's so sad. It's really sad that people are dying. But I don't believe that people are dying just because, it's a new thing, and then all of a sudden all these big numbers, and you can't even test nobody. Nobody that I know has gotten tested. And now all of a sudden, all these people died from COVID-19. Well, where are their tests? How are they being tested? And if they're being tested, are they accurate tests? Are they tests that are tests that are what do you call it? When they give false positives on purpose? I can't think of what I'm trying to say right now, but are people being deceived right now into thinking that all these people are dying from this particular thing when it's just a lie? I'm not saying it's a hoax, because I know people are dying. But what I'm saying is that some of all these deaths that they're attributing to COVID-19 is a lie. If I died right now, it wouldn't be from COVID-19. Even if they found some kind of positive thing in my body, it wouldn't be from COVID-19. It'd be from something else. Probably from my diabetes that I had a couple years ago. Like, I was like pre-diabetic, and I had to cut everything out that I was eating. But since I've been driving trucks, I've been eating things I shouldn't be eating. Who knows what happened since I've been sitting on a truck for the last 2-3 years. But that's a different story. But anyways, I just can't explain the danger that goes along with fear and panic. And how dangerous it is that people are being cooped up together like a bunch of caged animals. And you have women that are being abused, they can't escape. You have children who are being abused, they cannot escape. And then you got people that just go out and they walk, or they go out and they sit on a bench, or they go out and they try to get fresh air, and they're trying to get sunshine. And you got dirty people sitting in their house being envious, calling the cops on them. You got people who want to sit in their car in the parking lot at a church and feel like they're being close to the congregation, because in the Bible it says that they're not supposed to forsake the assembling of each other. Okay? So if you're not a Christian or a believer or part of any kind of religious organization, then you may not understand it. But I understand it because I am a part of the body of Christ. I am a believer. So I understand the importance of being in fellowship, But I also understand that there is a time and a place for everything. So no, I wouldn't go out in public and go to a public place. Now, it'd be different if I was having a Passover Seder, or, if it was a Shavuot meeting or something like that, where we were closed inside in a group small setting in the house, like I've been doing for years and years and years. I've never missed a high holy day, and I feel a little bit out of sorts because I have missed it this year, which that was kind of weird, but I'm just saying that I understand the reason why people would put themselves in danger to find fellowship. And I also understand the reason why people would put themselves in danger to have corporate worship. Because whether people understand it or not, when you get to a place of unity, and you're all of one mind and one spirit, there is something magical. That's the best way I can explain it. There's something magical that happens in the atmosphere. And your endorphins, I guess I can explain it that way. There's something that happens in your brain. Your brain releases chemicals, and it's pleasant, it's good, it's beautiful. And, I understand that. And yes, I would like to do that, but I wouldn't do that like in a church setting or something like that. But I would go to a high holy day, like a Passover, or, tabernacles or something like that. But the reason I'm doing this is because the fear is debilitating to people. And it's doing more harm than good. I understand people want people to stay inside because they think it's the best thing to do. But really and truly, everybody's locked up inside, and thousands of people are still dying supposedly from this thing. So what is it? So you got 100 or so people that test positive in one day because they go to the beach. I mean, how many of these people had vaccinations for other flus? You know what I mean? It's like, even if you test positive, that doesn't mean that you're gonna be sick and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that and you're gonna do the other. It just means that you test positive. Unlike if you test positive for AIDS and you go out and you deliberately mess with somebody sexually because you're wicked and you gotta you feel it's your right to infect somebody with this thing because somebody infected you, and you go out and you lay down with somebody and your bodily fluids go into their bodily fluids, your blood touch their blood, then that is a definite life or death sentence. A life sentence because you may live with it, but you're going to be on medications all the rest of your life. A death sentence because you will eventually die from it. I've known many people who lived with AIDS for a long time. And then I know people that lived with AIDS for a little bit and then they died. But each scenario ended the same. They both died. They died. And you got people with coronavirus. If they're going to die, they're going to die. If they're meant to die with the virus, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to die. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying that if look, I know y'all don't like this version of me. I know y'all don't like this version of me because y'all not used to seeing me say things that are contrary to what you believe is feminism. It's a feminist person. But I'm telling you, based on my own experiences, the things that I'm saying. So if you're gonna die from COVID-19, it's not gonna be because somebody went outside that was unvaccinated and they coughed on you. It's gonna be because your body did not have the defenses in it to heal itself. But that's not somebody else's fault. It's not even your fault. It's just the way your body works. It's the way your body is not working. actually. So, and another thing that really bothers me, I know this is all here and there and jumbled up and down, and it probably doesn't make sense, and I probably look like, oh, well, I'm not looking in the camera. My eyes hurt because I've been sitting here for all these hours waiting for them to unload me. So my eyes are hurting me. So it's difficult to just stare directly into the camera. But, what was I saying? I understand that people want to make all these precautions to keep diseases away, or keep diseases within your own house or whatever, but that's the worst thing that you can do as a germophobic. And I shouldn't even claim it anymore because I've been redeemed from that. I've been set free from that. Okay? But there was a time when I was a big germophobic. And I used to always cover my face. Right? Quarantining yourself and all these different things based on fear is not healthy. It's going to kill you. That's what's going to kill you. Not going out. If you die from COVID-19, you're gonna die from COVID-19. If you're hiding in a room somewhere and you're trying to prolong your life, for a few more months, and then finally at the end of December of next year, when everybody's completely broke and everybody's completely, you got riots and now there's a martial law everywhere. Then finally, when you get out and you can go get yourself vaccinated, then you're gonna die anyway. Because you've allowed your body to, your body is no longer strong to defend itself from foreign objects and foreign things that come into your body through your eye sockets and your nostrils and your mouth, because you're trying to prevent it, and then you're closing yourself off from it, and you're sterilizing yourself. So while you're doing that to yourself, you're weakening your defense mechanism in your body. You're weakening that. I worked in the school district for 15 years at Arlington High School, and I worked at other schools too, right? And during that time of 15 years, I got sick once. And it wasn't even from work. It was because I was at a friend's house who was handling a sick baby, and she went and cooked and didn't wash her hands and fed me that food that she cooked when she was handling that sick baby. And then I got sick from that. But out of all the time I worked there, 15 years in a public school with people from all different nations, students from all different nations, all different countries, come into this school system with all their different elements particular to their racial group, come into the school, and I was in the midst of it all for 15 years, did not get sick once from that. And everybody always like, we need to get vaccinated, and the parents can't opt their children out from being vaccinated anymore, so now everybody got to get vaccinated. And I didn't get vaccinated not one time in 15 years while at the school district. When I went to Israel, stopped in Russia, stopped in Poland, I stopped somewhere else too, I didn't have a vaccination. Went to Hawaii, Fiji Islands, Samoa. I didn't have a vaccination. Didn't get sick. Didn't get diarrhea. Didn't get any of that stuff. Didn't get any of that stuff. Why? Because not only was I a child in school, while I was in school, and I was around people who were constantly sick, and I'm not gonna lie, from the time I can remember until the time I was 12, from the time I was born, I had my little card. I don't know what happened to it, but my little card said my first vaccinations was in June or July of 1974. I was born in May of 1974, but my first vaccination was in June or July of 1975, 1974 or 75. But it wasn't, it was like two. So I got vaccines up until I was 12 because, that's what my family doctor did, who happened to be a Seventh-day Adventist doctor. So he had integrity, and he wasn't going to do anything that was wrong. So our family trusted him. And after I turned 12 years old, and after it stopped being where I had to get vaccines, I stopped getting vaccines, and I haven't gotten one since. And like I said, I don't take medication. There's been a few times where I had to take it. One was when I broke my arm. I took some medication when I broke my hand, actually. I had a hairline fracture in my hand. And I took medication, had a bad reaction, and I didn't take medication anymore. I think I took a Tylenol. I took like a half a Tylenol, and and I had such a bad reaction to it, like I knocked out. And I was at a friend's house, and I woke up, and I was like asking for her like she was my mother. And so I stopped taking, I think it was Tylenol. So I don't take Tylenol. Even if I was taking medication, I wouldn't take Tylenol because I think I'm allergic to it. And then there was one other time I had some kind of, see this little dark space right here on my face? I don't know what was wrong with me, but I had like a big boil or something. But that happened because I was having issues with my throat or something. And I ended up in the hospital. And when they put me in there, and I was in the robe and everything, they were like coming in there with an aspirin, and they told me to take it. I was like, what do I need to take an aspirin for? I don't have a fever. So the first thing they wanted to do was pop some pills in my mouth. And so there was something, they actually prescribed me something, and they prescribed me like an antibiotic, and I had to take it because if you start one thing people do that they should not do, you start taking medications that's prescribed for you, and then you stop taking it when you feel better. You're supposed to take your medication that prescribed for you exactly how it's prescribed. Otherwise, it's going to have a bad side effect. So, I took it that time, and I think that was a few years ago. And that's it. Other than a few months ago, when I ate at Wendy's and I had when I had food poisoning, I brought a bottle of Pepto-Bismol, and I took one capful, and I felt like a hypocrite. So I didn't take any more because it's against my belief to take medication. It's just, and this is not a judgment call on anybody else, but it's just me. This is how I live. I don't force my beliefs on anybody, and I don't expect anyone to force their beliefs on me. So, it's just how I am. But as far as the whole quarantine thing is concerned, and wearing facial mask and hand washing and gloves and stuff, you should have already been washing your hands anyway. And you should already be practicing social distancing anyway. There's no reason why people should be crowding people on the line. I don't want your breath down my neck anyway. So y'all need to keep your feet away from me. And then lastly, the whole facial mask thing. That's not fair. to say that we have to have facial masks to go in and out of stores and all that stuff, especially if you're a truck driver and you have no way to get them. So then we're not allowed to go to the stores because, oh well, you don't have your face covered. You know, I'm not, and this is not a put down, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not, I don't have to cover my face. So, you know, I don't have a religion to where I have to cover my face. Now, there may be a time when I'm in prayer that I may cover my face, but that's between me and my God. That had nothing to do with people. That's something that I would personally do in my personal closet space with me and my God. But that has nothing to do with a social conditioning based off of a religion. It has to do with a personal conviction if I use a head covering or whatever. But, you know, they're unloading me now, thank God, so I'm going to get off this phone. Anyways, I hope I didn't bore you. I know this is not as exciting as my other one was, but hey, I'm just saying, y'all need to quit with making people feel, with first of all, with wishing people harm for not believing like you. As you know, making jokes about putting people in islands and letting them die because they don't want, you know, to be quarantined. What the hell is wrong with you people? You're wicked. That's not funny. You're wicked. And so what should I do if you get vaccinated and you still end up getting sick? Should I laugh at you? Should I say, ah, ha, 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 you trusted in a lie and laugh at you? Should you be put on an island somewhere and be left to die because you stupidly got a vaccine that didn't work and made you sick anyway? I just want to know. So I'm gonna get off the phone because they really working in there now. It's moving and shaking. So anyways, that's it.